Thanks for joining us here at 13 News at noon. I'm Matthew Foltz. Jury deliberations continue at this hour in the Delphi murder trial. Suspect Richard Allen is accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017. He faces 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel joins us now from the Carroll County Courthouse as we await a jury's decision. Bob, what's the latest?
Hey, Matthew. Well, the jury got here this morning at 8:30 to begin its deliberations. And while jurors are inside the courthouse doing that important work, outside the courthouse, we continue to wait. This is now day number 21 since the jury first started hearing testimony. And it's the 4th day of deliberations since the state and defense ended their closing arguments. Why is the verdict taking this long? Well, keep in mind, jurors heard from 64 different witnesses, and some of those important witnesses gave testimony that is very contradictory. For example, when it comes to Richard Allen's confessions, state experts said Allen was thinking clearly and had no signs of mental illness at the time that he made the confessions. The defense's experts, witnesses, they say he was absolutely suffering from psychosis, and being held in solitary confinement for months on end led Allen to have false memories that resulted in false confessions. The jury also heard very different expert testimony about a cartridge found at the crime scene. The state says testing confirms the unfired bullet cycled through a gun owned by Allen. But the defense presented several witnesses to say the state's testing is deeply flawed and there is not sufficient agreement to link the crime scene cartridge to Allen. So right now you are looking at a live picture up on the 3rd floor of the Carroll County Courthouse. The jury is up there on the 3rd floor. That's where deliberations are taking place. Richard Allen's attorneys are here, but the defendant is not here. We will continue to watch and wait for this verdict to come from the jury, and whenever it does come in, we will let you know right away. Live in Delphi, I'm Bob Siegel, 13 News. Matthew, back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. Well, now we take a live look outside downtown of Indy. Right now we're seeing some sunshine coming, a little bit of clouds in the sky, but Sean, I guess the big question is, are we tracking any rain?
Not today, but we do have rain in our 7-day forecast here. We won't give everything away. Today for Veterans Day, it looks great, my friend. Yeah. Sunshine in 60s, but we do have a front coming in tonight. We'll talk about the impacts of that. But for November, we continue to say it. We are talking about one of the warmest starts to November. In fact, if you go to WTHR.com or if you have our free app, Lindsay Monroe put out a new forecast blog talking about where the early start of November ranks historically in terms of warmth and wetness. That's online right now. 57, west wind at 16, and it will be brisk for today. We sneak into the lower 60s. That's above average for this time of year. But we do have a frontal system that will be coming down the pike here later this evening. It does not have a lot of moisture, so this particular front is not going to bring us precipitation. It is going to bring us a chillier day for tomorrow and a little bit closer to normal. You will definitely feel this front over the next 24 hours. Right now that wind is from the west. It eventually will shift to the north and northwest tonight, and as that happens, a few lake effect rain showers possibly for the far northern part of the state. We wake up to much colder temperatures. We'll talk about a chillier Tuesday and that rain timeline ahead in your forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Sean. Right now, the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal crash. Details are limited right now on it, but we do know it happened around 8:30 this morning on East County Road 900 North in Pittsboro. That's about 20 minutes northwest of downtown Indy. Police say the County Road 150 East and County Road 75 East will be closed for the investigation. Right now, it's still unclear how this crash happened or how many people were hurt in this crash. We do have crews at the scene right now, and we will bring you the latest as soon as we learn more. This afternoon, a 13-year-old boy is fighting for his life at Riley Children's Hospital. Another 13-year-old is under arrest for attempted murder. This comes after police say some teens were playing with a gun. Our Marina Silva has the latest.
A nightmare scenario on Greenwood's Crescent Drive. A 13-year-old boy shot and critically hurt, now at Riley Hospital. Around 1 a.m. Sunday, police were called to this house for a report of attempted suicide. When they got there, they say it wasn't a suicide at all. Police say 6 juveniles were playing with a gun when one 13-year-old pointed the gun at another 13-year-old and pulled the trigger. Investigators say all the kids then ran away. 20 minutes later, the suspect called 911 claiming attempted suicide. Greenwood police tell 13 News the parents were at the home when the shooting happened. They were asleep and didn't wake up until officers banged on their door. Nearby neighbors say they didn't hear the shot overnight, but it's now sparking a larger conversation about kids and gun safety. Chad Smothers was staying at his mom's house nearby.
I gotta say, there's got to be better, safety precautions with parents of kids that are old enough to be able to hold something and handle something like that. Parents' fault. Kids should be aware and informed. Maybe this is something that should be just as important as sex education in schools.
He says he has the conversation with his own kids.
If your kids aren't aware of the serious nature of what a gun looks like and what it can do and what to do if you see one, then have that talk with your kids.
And he's saying an extra prayer for the boy injured.
I'm praying for him and his family, and probably for the young man, the other kid that might be in big trouble right now.
13 News confirmed that some of the juveniles are students at Greenwood Middle School. The superintendent sent an email to parents Sunday night saying they're offering counseling for students and families, and the middle school will be on a 2-hour delay on Monday. Reporting in Greenwood, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Greenwood Middle School also canceled sports practices for this evening. The school's Veteran Day program is also being rescheduled. Meanwhile, police are still investigating who exactly owns the gun. The 13-year-old that was arrested is now at the Johnson County Juvenile Detention Center. Prosecutors will determine any charges. One person is dead and an officer injured after a police shooting in Fort Wayne. Our affiliate station WPTA reports it happened around 11 o'clock last night on the city's south side. Police received the call about a group of people walking around threatening to shoot their guns. When police pulled up, they tried to get them to drop their weapons, but the officers say the group didn't listen. That's when an officer fired shots. One person died at the scene and an officer was taken to the hospital. Right now, we're still working to learn that officer's condition and how exactly they were injured. 13 News is working to find out the latest on a fatal shooting at an apartment complex on the city's near west side. It happened Saturday night at the Maple Creek Apartments off of Michigan Street near Holt Road. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man inside an apartment dead. Investigators tell us this shooting is an isolated incident.
We can't urge the community enough to please call us if they have saw anything, heard anything out of the ordinary.
Anything else you want people to be knowing about on this Saturday night?
This is an apartment complex. There's children who play out here on the very streets that we're standing right now.
No word yet on a motive or a suspect. However, we will let you know as soon as we get an update from police. 12:09 on your Monday afternoon. This week, Indy's getting a new mobile grocery store on the city's east side. The store is located inside of a trailer that can be hauled anywhere it's needed. Mount Carmel Baptist Church came up with the idea after seeing the area lacked fresh food and when they got feedback from the community on what food they wanted to see being sold.
It's not Mount Carmel, it's a Far East Side situation where everybody in the Far East Side who have food insecurities have access to healthy food choices.
The church tells us starting tomorrow, the mobile grocery store will start making its rounds in neighborhoods on the east side. So if you live on that side of town, be on the lookout. Today is Veterans Day, and Indianapolis is going all out to honor Hoosiers who have served. Right now, the city is preparing for the annual Veterans Day parade downtown. As you take a live look down on Pennsylvania Street, it hasn't started just yet. As you see, there's spectators lined all up and down the street. Now, the route will mainly stick around the War Memorial and Legion Mall. For a full map of the route, you can also visit our website or veteransdayindy.org. Of course, all of this following the Veterans Day service that took place 11 this morning at the Indiana War Memorial. But don't forget, if you are a veteran, businesses are also offering some freebies for those who have served and are serving. So we have a full list on our website. Just head to WTHR.com/scene-on13, or you can scan that QR code right there on your screen. And as we continue to celebrate Veterans Day today, we're also honoring Hoosier veterans. This is Paul Erickson. He served in the Marines from 1969 to 1971. He was stationed in the U.S. and Japan during his service. We're also honoring William H. Steiner. He served in the Marines from 1965 to 1969. He served 2 tours in Vietnam. So this afternoon, we are thanking them and all of our veterans for their dedication and service to our country.